Millionaire discovers his maid protecting his special needs daughter, and is left stunned. Marcus Sterling stood frozen in the doorway of his penthouse office, his breath catching in his throat as he watched something that would forever change his understanding of love, sacrifice, and what truly matters in life. What he witnessed that cold December evening would shatter every assumption he'd made about the quiet woman who had worked in his home for 3 years. But before we dive into this life-changing moment, I want you to do me a favor. If this story touches your heart, please hit that like button, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Leave a comment below telling me what you think. And don't forget to subscribe to Trillionaire in Love for more incredible stories that will restore your faith in humanity. Trust me, you won't want to miss what happens next. Marcus had built his empire from nothing, transforming a small tech startup into a billion-dollar corporation that dominated the software industry. His days were consumed with board meetings, international calls, and decisions that affected thousands of employees worldwide. Success had come at a price, though his marriage had crumbled under the weight of his ambition, and his relationship with his 8-year-old daughter Emma had become distant and strained. Emma was born with autism spectrum disorder, and Marcus, despite his love for her, struggled to connect with his daughter's unique needs. After his divorce, he'd hired the best nannies money could buy, but none lasted more than a few months. Emma's meltdowns, her sensitivity to sound and light, her difficulty with communication, it all felt overwhelming to caregivers who were more accustomed to typical children. That's when Rosa Martinez entered their lives. She was a soft-spoken woman in her early 50s, with kind eyes and gentle hands that seemed to understand things others couldn't. She didn't come with impressive credentials or references from wealthy families. Instead, she came with something far more valuable, a heart that knew how to love unconditionally. Rosa had raised her own son, Miguel, who was also on the autism spectrum, and she understood the delicate balance required to create a safe, nurturing environment for children with special needs. When she interviewed for the position, she didn't talk about her previous employers or her housekeeping skills. Instead, she asked about Emma's favorite colors, her sensory preferences, and what made her feel calm and happy. From her first day, Rosa transformed the Sterling household. She noticed that Emma became agitated by the harsh LED lights in the house, so she quietly replaced them with warm, soft bulbs that created a more soothing atmosphere. She observed that Emma found comfort in routine, so she established gentle rhythms throughout the day that gave the little girl a sense of security and predictability. Marcus was initially skeptical. He was used to efficiency and results, and Rosa's approach seemed too gentle, too patient. But as weeks turned into months, he couldn't deny the changes in his daughter. Emma's meltdowns became less frequent and less intense. She began to smile more, to engage in activities she'd previously avoided, and most surprisingly, she started to communicate in her own unique way. What Marcus didn't realize was the depth of Rosa's dedication. While he was at the office closing deals and attending power lunches, Rosa was creating miracles in his home. She learned that Emma loved the sensation of running water, so she set up sensory play activities with different textures and temperatures. She discovered that Emma had an incredible memory for patterns and numbers, so she incorporated learning games that built on these strengths rather than focusing on her challenges. Rosa never asked for overtime pay when Emma had difficult days that required extra attention. She never complained when Emma's sensory overload led to tears and tantrums that could last for hours. Instead, she would sit patiently with the little girl, offering quiet comfort and understanding until the storm passed. The challenges Rosa faced were immense. There were days when Emma wouldn't eat, when she would rock back and forth for hours, when she would cover her ears and cry because the world felt too loud, too bright, too overwhelming. Other household staff would shake their heads and suggest that Emma needed professional help or stricter discipline. But Rosa understood that Emma wasn't being difficult. She was struggling to navigate a world that often felt chaotic and frightening. One of the biggest challenges came during Emma's transition periods. Simple changes like switching from playtime to bath time could trigger massive emotional responses. Rosa learned to give Emma advance warning using visual schedules and gentle countdown techniques. She created safe spaces throughout the house where Emma could retreat when she felt overwhelmed, a reading nook with soft blankets and dim lighting, a sensory corner with textured pillows and calming music. Rosa also faced the challenge of Emma's communication difficulties. While Emma was highly intelligent, expressing her needs and emotions was often frustrating for her. Rosa spent hours learning about alternative communication methods, creating picture cards and visual aids that helped Emma express herself more effectively. She celebrated every small break. Through the first time Emma pointed to a card instead of crying, the first time she used a gesture to ask for help, the first time she made eye contact during a conversation. The financial pressures Rosa faced at home added another layer of difficulty. Her husband had been injured in a construction accident and couldn't work, and her own son Miguel needed ongoing therapy and support services that their insurance didn't fully cover. Despite these challenges, Rosa never let her personal struggles affect her care for Emma. She often worked extra hours without pay, and she used her own money to buy special sensory toys and tools that would help Emma thrive. Marcus remained largely oblivious to these sacrifices. He saw Rosa as efficient and reliable, but he didn't understand the emotional labor she was investing in his daughter's well-being. His own guilt about being an absent father made it easier to maintain distance, to convince himself that paying for the best care was equivalent to providing love and attention. The turning point came on a particularly difficult evening in December. Marcus had planned to attend an important business dinner that could secure a major international contract. Emma had been having a challenging day, overstimulated by the holiday decorations and changes in routine that December inevitably brought. As Marcus prepared to leave for his dinner, Emma began to have a severe meltdown. Most caregivers would have called Marcus immediately, expecting him to handle the situation or at least provide guidance. But Rosa never did. She understood that Marcus's first instinct was often to solve problems with resources rather than presence, and she knew that Emma needed something money couldn't buy: patient, understanding care from someone who truly saw and accepted her. Marcus decided to leave for his dinner, trusting that Rosa would handle whatever was happening. But as he waited for his driver, something made him pause. Maybe it was the intensity of Emma's cries, or maybe it was a growing awareness of how much he'd been missing. Instead of leaving, he quietly made his way back into the house. What he discovered in Emma's bedroom left him speechless. Rosa was sitting on the floor with Emma, who was curled up in her lap, finally calm after what had clearly been an intense emotional episode. But it wasn't just the scene that stunned Marcus, it was what he overheard Rosa saying to his daughter. "You are so brave, my Emma," Rosa whispered in both English and Spanish, her voice filled with genuine love and admiration. "I know the world feels too big and too loud sometimes, but you are stronger than you know. You have such a beautiful heart, such a special way of seeing things. Your papa loves you so much, even when he doesn't know how to show it. And I love you too, Mija. You are not broken or difficult. You are perfect exactly as you are." Emma looked up at Rosa with complete trust, her small hand reaching up to touch Rosa's face. "Rosa, stay," she asked in her quiet voice, one of the longest sentences Marcus had heard his daughter speak. "Always, Mija. Rosa will always stay with you," she replied, pressing a gentle kiss to Emma's forehead. Marcus felt tears streaming down his face as he watched this intimate moment. He realized that while he had been building his business empire, Rosa had been building something far more precious, a relationship with his daughter, based on unconditional love, patience, and understanding. She wasn't just caring for Emma, she was loving her with the fierce devotion of a mother. As he stood there, Marcus began to understand the magnitude of Rosa's sacrifice. He thought about all the evenings she had stayed late without complaint, all the weekends she had come in when Emma was having difficult periods, all the creative solutions she had implemented to help his daughter thrive. He realized that Rosa had given Emma something he had failed to provide: the unwavering belief that she was valuable, lovable, and worthy of patience and understanding. The next morning, Marcus cancelled all his meetings. Instead, he sat down with Rosa and asked her to tell him about Emma. Really tell him. Rosa shared insights that amazed him. She explained Emma's patterns, her triggers, her incredible strengths, and her unique way of processing the world. She showed him the detailed notes she kept about Emma's progress, the sensory tools she had researched and purchased, the communication strategies she had developed. Marcus was astounded by Rosa's dedication and expertise. This woman, who he had seen simply as household help, had become a passionate advocate and fierce protector of his daughter. She had transformed their home into a therapeutic environment tailored specifically to Emma's needs, and she had done it all out of love. The conversation revealed the depth of challenges Rosa had been quietly managing. She told him about the time Emma had been bullied at a birthday party, and how Rosa had spent the entire night holding her while she cried. She shared the story of Emma's first successful playdate, which Rosa had carefully orchestrated and supervised to ensure Emma felt safe and included. She explained the research she did in her free time, learning about new therapies and techniques that might help Emma continue to grow and develop. Marcus also learned about Rosa's personal sacrifices. She had turned down higher paying positions to stay with Emma. She had used her own money to buy specialized equipment and toys. She had even postponed her own son's therapy appointments when Emma was going through particularly difficult periods and needed extra support. Overwhelmed by gratitude and shame at his own blindness, Marcus made several immediate changes. First, he gave Rosa a substantial raise and formally promoted her to Emma's primary caregiver and developmental specialist. He set up a trust fund for Rosa's son Miguel to ensure he would have access to all the therapies and support he needed. Most importantly, he began to restructure his own schedule to spend quality time with Emma, learning from Rosa how to connect with his daughter. The transformation in their family was remarkable. With Rosa's guidance, Marcus learned to see Emma's autism not as a limitation, but as a different way of experiencing and understanding the world. He discovered Emma's incredible talent for mathematics and patterns, her remarkable memory, and her deep capacity for love and connection when approached with patience and understanding. Rosa helped Marcus understand that Emma's needs weren't burdens to be managed, but opportunities to see the world through different eyes. She taught him how to recognize Emma's communication cues, how to create sensory, friendly environments, and most importantly, how to appreciate Emma's unique perspective and gifts. The challenges didn't disappear overnight. Emma still had difficult days, moments when the sensory world felt overwhelming, times when communication was frustrating. But now Marcus was present for these challenges, learning alongside Rosa how to provide the support and understanding Emma needed. He began to see that the most profound love isn't about fixing someone or changing them. It's about accepting them completely and helping them flourish as their authentic selves. As months passed, the Sterling household became a place of genuine warmth and understanding. Emma began to thrive in ways Marcus had never imagined possible. Her vocabulary expanded, her confidence grew, and most importantly, she began to trust that she was loved and accepted exactly as she was. Marcus's relationship with Rosa evolved too. She was no longer just an employee, but a trusted partner in Emma's care and development. He came to see Rosa as one of the most important people in their lives, someone who had seen the beauty and potential in his daughter when others saw only challenges. The story of Rosa's dedication spread through Marcus's social circle, challenging many people's assumptions about value, worth, and what truly matters in life. Marcus began using his resources and platform to advocate for children with special needs and their families, funding research and support programs inspired by everything Rosa had taught him. One evening, as Marcus watched Rosa and Emma working together on a puzzle, he was struck by a profound realization. He had spent years accumulating wealth, believing that financial success was the measure of a life well lived. But Rosa, with her modest salary and simple lifestyle, was far richer than he had ever been. She possessed something money couldn't buy: the ability to love unconditionally, to see potential where others saw problems, and to invest her whole heart in helping another person flourish. Emma looked up from the puzzle and smiled at her father, a genuine, joyful smile that lit up her entire face. "Papa, look, Rosa and me finished it," she said proudly, her words clear and confident. Marcus felt his heart overflow with gratitude. Rosa had given him back his daughter, but more than that, she had taught him what it meant to truly love someone. She had shown him that the most valuable things in life aren't found in boardrooms or bank accounts. They're found in the quiet moments of patience, understanding, and unconditional acceptance. The lesson Rosa taught went far beyond special needs care. She demonstrated that everyone, regardless of their challenges or differences, deserves to be seen, valued, and loved for who they are. Her dedication showed that true wealth isn't measured in dollars, but in the lives we touch, the love we give, and the difference we make in the world. Marcus realized that while he had been focused on building a financial legacy, Rosa had been focused on building something far more lasting: a foundation of love, acceptance, and understanding that would shape Emma's entire life. She had given Emma the most precious gift possible: the unshakable knowledge that she was worthy of love exactly as she was. As we conclude this incredible story, I want you to think about the Rosas in your own life, the people who love without condition, who see potential where others see problems, and who invest their hearts in making the world a better place. Take a moment to appreciate them, to thank them, and to follow their example of unconditional love and acceptance. If this story moved you as much as it moved me, please show your support by hitting that like button, sharing this video with others who need to hear this message, leaving a comment below about how this story affected you, and subscribing to Trillionaire in Love for more heartwarming stories that celebrate the very best of humanity. Your engagement helps these important stories reach more people who need to be reminded that love, patience, and understanding can truly change the world. Remember, we all have the power to be someone's Rosa, to see the beauty in others, to offer unconditional love, and to help people flourish as their authentic selves. In a world that often values success over compassion, let's choose to be the people who see hearts, not limitations, and who understand that the greatest wealth of all is found in the love we share with one another.